Okay, hey guys, so I am so heated as always. Like, when am I not mad these days? But the answer is always. But I actually was more mad probably a week ago, or like I think it was 2 weeks ago when I found this out. And ever since then, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So I wanted to do kind of like a story time, and kind of like a story time, which I haven't done forever. So hopefully you enjoy this type of video. But let me say this. One person that I follow, you know, I've followed and watched a lot of their, you know, lectures and different things is Christopher Hitchens, who said something that has resonated with me for a while now, which is never be a spectator to unfairness or stupidity. And I feel like my channel in a way encompasses that idea, or that premise that if you look back at my videos, it's like I often, like my Sephora video where I talked about why I quit Sephora, it was because something really unfair had happened there that caused me to quit, or, you know, something like the college scandal, like that was something I found to be unfair. And a lot of the time too, what I talk about on my channel revolves around money, because I really want people to spend money wisely, because I know how bad it can be if you don't spend money wisely and you get yourself in financial debt. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? It can ruin somebody's life. So my whole idea, hold on, I'm gonna turn this light on back here because I think it'll look cute. Oh yeah, that looks way cuter. So anyway, so yeah, I like to talk about stuff that revolves around money and unfairness and scams and people who lie. Like I'm very big on integrity. This story is everything that has to do with that. And it's also been something that I've been, you know, watching for several months now, just kind of in my free time. I've been watching how these people operate and the lies they tell and the facade. It's all a farce. So I'm gonna get into that in a second, but let me tell you the story first about how this happened. So I've been watching people who are in MLMs, and I'm very interested by it because to me it is the epitome of a scam. It is a pyramid scheme. It's a legal pyramid scheme because the only reason that there's a legal loophole that allows people to participate in MLMs, because pyramid schemes are illegal. So the reason is because they're selling product rather than just recruiting people, and there's not really like products going around. However, a lot of the time, 99% of the time with these MLMs, besides maybe Tupperware, this product they're selling is a piece of garbage, right? And by the way, if you're part of an MLM, I don't think that you're an evil person, but I don't censor myself, and I completely disagree with MLMs. I don't think you should join an MLM. I think that it is a way to turn your friends and your family and your peers into nothing more than a business pitch and trying to get yourself money. And I think that they prey on desperate people who are in desperate times, who are desperate for money. And that's just what I think. You know, that might alienate some people who are a part of those. I don't think that you're a bad person necessarily. Some people definitely are, but for the most part, people who are in MLMs, especially at the top, are taking advantage of other people who are probably, you know, a lot of the time people in MLMs, they get out after a year or something after they lost a ton of money. So I'm really against them, and I do want to do a full video on especially targeting beauty MLMs, but for right now, I'm just going to tell you the story that hits close to home with me because this just happened and I am so pissed about it. So basically that's what an MLMs are. You don't make money based on the income disclosure statements. You don't make money by selling the product. You make money by recruiting other people to be in your downline. And people are very weird about it. We've all got that message from somebody who was rude to us in high school. Hey hun, or hey girly, I have this great business opportunity for you, blah, blah, blah. And they're always very vague about it because a lot of the time when you actually search these brands, and the one I'm going to be talking about today is Monat, when you search these brands, there's a lot of bad things that come up. And you find out they're a scheme or they're a scam, and it's like a way that a lot of people lose money. They end up losing money. I think it's like 99% of people who are involved in MLM end up losing money, and I think like an average of 22 people, like for Monat, I think you make an average of $22 per year or something like that, per year. So most people are losing money, and that's just, what kind of company is that? If you have to pay to play, you're probably in an MLM scheme. You know, I'm just gonna call it what it is because that's what it is. So let me see where I want to go with this. So let me tell you about Monate, because it's a hair care brand, all right? And I've had a lot of, you know, as a social media person, I mean, I don't want to call myself an influencer or anything like that. I'm just a social media person who happens to have a pretty good following on YouTube. So I do get a lot of these pitches. A lot of people have come out from the woodwork who were, you know, from high school, or who knew me barely. You know, I'm acquaintances with these people, or just random people. They've come out and they've said, hey, do you want to be, I got a great business opportunity for you. And I think that they look at me and they look at my following and they're like this. They're like vultures, because they think that I'm gonna, like, I'll be part of their downline, and then I'll recruit all these people, which will then make them money. So they see me as a business opportunity, which I don't like, because I would never push out something that would, like, I would never advise you or encourage you to be part of a scheme where I'm losing money or whatever. Let's transition really quick away from this, the MLM topic, which we're going to come back to. But the other topic I want to talk about is social media influencers. And I've noticed this with social media influencers, but also with these MLM girls who are pretending to be or acting as social media influencers to sell their MLM products. I've noticed this, and like I said, I have been following this for months, probably close to a year. I've been following a select group of people who I check on like daily, honestly, because it's fascinating in all the wrong ways to me. Like how serial killers, I'm not comparing these people to serial killers, but I'm saying the way that a serial killer is fascinating, or those stories are fascinating. To me, it's fascinating how these people are scamming people. And I've been trying to compile like a whole bunch of my knowledge about it and what these people are doing, the tactics that they use. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to be talking about one person in particular who I've seen do this, and I just have a story attached to it. So these social media influencers, MLM people, they all of a sudden will get, once they start selling, I've noticed that a lot of them will get kind of like a big following. And I'm like, whoa, to me, a big following on Instagram is like 15,000 people. Like, I feel like that's a pretty sizable group of people. I think even 7,000 or 8,000, you know, I think that you have a pretty good scope of influence, especially if you just came from a small town. A lot of these things operate in small towns, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But one thing I've noticed, and this is with social media in general these days too, and social media influencers, is they have no integrity. And what I mean by that is that they are noticeably either buying followers or they're following and unfollowing. So there's two methods that I'm noticing that they're using. A lot of them are doing the follow-unfollow method. So they're following hundreds of people a day. Some people will follow them back because they see, oh, this is a person who, you know, follow for follow, or they see somebody who they're like might have a big social media following, and they're like, oh, I feel special because this person followed me. But those people don't realize that that person's following and unfollowing people, hundreds of people every single day. And you can see that on Social Blade by the people that they're following every day and the people they're unfollowing every day, right? So the graph of what it looks like, of what they're following looks like, it should really be more like a pretty straight line, or at least a little bit linear in nature. For following, you know, big accounts who are authentic are pretty much going to stay like a pretty even line like this. People that follow and unfollow, their daily following looks like this. It looks like a roller coaster, because that is literally and figuratively what these people are on. They are on a roller coaster ride, okay? So they follow and unfollow people, and they gain a following slowly through doing that. But what I've noticed, and by the way, brands need to start looking at this, because I honestly think that faking a following is a crime that should be punishable by law. I'm not even kidding, because they are taking brand deals from companies who are paying them, and they have a fake following, and I'll get into that, you know what I mean. Thing that I've noticed that people are doing, and I know that they're doing this because if you look at people who do have integrity and who are at the same exact kind of growth pattern on Instagram as these people, this is just not the case. So your growth on Instagram is never going to be like a true like linear graph. It's, you know, there's big spikes because you get reposted by somebody or somebody tags you in something. It's all about like the connections that you have on there and being reposted. Otherwise, who's gonna find you? You know, it's like people don't just really stumble across your page. They have to see you from something. So you'll get these big spikes when somebody reposts you, and that's kind of how it works. Like it'll be like, okay, you're moving up, and then you have a big spike, and then you're moving up, you have a big spike, you have a big video or something on another platform or whatever. Most of the time, these people just have one platform, it's Instagram. So what you'll notice is that a lot of these people will have a very steady growth, which is very interesting because you'll go to their tagged photos and they're not being reposted by a single brand. Not a single brand. They're not being reposted by any big companies. They're not being tagged by anything, nothing. And they would leave that. That's something that you would leave in your tagged photos because you're proud of it. Like, you know, who's somebody big? Like Anastasia Beverly Hills, they tag you, you're going to leave that in your tagged photos. Or you're going to put it in your thing or whatever and post like, thank you so much for re-tagging me, right? So I know that they're buying because it's a very interesting linear growth, and there's a lot of followers each day. You can check this again on Social Blade. It'll be like exactly 150 new followers every single day, or 200 followers every single day and you haven't been reposted. 200 people aren't following you. I mean, they're just not, especially if you're not doing the unfollow follow thing. They're just not, you know, that's not right. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. And then you can see people are going actually even further nowadays, and they are buying engaged followers. So you can actually purchase packages. And I found a couple sites that will do this. Not that I do it, obviously, but I found sites because I've been looking and I'm seeing like, is this really possible that people can buy engaged followers? Because you'll see a lot of comments and you're like, oh, because it wouldn't tip off a brand to see if you had like a 10% engagement rate, which is unreal. Like that would be like a really good engagement rate, 10%. And I'm seeing some of these people that have it, but there's no way that they have that high of an engagement rate because they don't have any other social medias. And when you go to these people that are commenting, it's all the same kind of comments. You'll notice it kind of looks like random pages. And then if you go to that person, the person that is buying these followers and these comments, they're not even following the other person back. So it's like, it's a very interesting kind of thing going on there. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Once you start really watching these things, you can see that people are buying followers. So anyway, it's been known that people buy followers, especially on Instagram, and people, I guess, can bot views on YouTube now. I'd love to figure out how to do that because my channel does not get the views it once did. But I'm just kidding. I would never use that. And I don't even know where to look for that. I don't know where to look for YouTube, but I do know where to look for the Instagram stuff. So here's another thing too. I guess to circle back to I think it's such a crime to fake a following on any social media, because once you I don't know how people can take a brand deal with good faith and say, yeah, I faked this following, but I'm going to take this brand deal, promote it to people who don't actually even care or not really following me. They're bots, or they're people who who don't even know me. Like at all. They don't know one thing about me. They just followed me back because I followed them. To take money from a brand, or to take advantage of a brand, or to take advantage of other people, and use a fake following, to me it's a crime. It's a crime. And I hope that people are punished by it. I hope that brands start looking at Social Blades, knowing what to look for. You know, if I was a brand right now and I had my own brand and I was paying people to promote things, I would be looking so hard because it's so easy to spot it. So anyway, it all relates back because I see a lot. The people I'm seeing it do the most are these MLM girls who are saying you can live your dream life and work as a social media influencer and sell these products and you'll have everything. You won't have to leave your house. You can work from home, blah, 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 blah. It's all a farce. It's everything that they're doing that I've noticed. These people are living lies. And the one lie I want to tell is somebody who actually lives very close to me. They're in my hometown, and it's like beyond it's just sick. To me, it's sick because this girl's in an MLM, the Monet MLM. I know she's recruiting her friends and family, but it's like I know she's not making any money off of this, so she's just recruiting more people so she can try to make money. She's recruiting people that she loves and people from our hometown into it, and on social media, and portraying this fake life with a fake following and whatever, and it's like none of it's real. And meanwhile, I know she's struggling with finances, and the people that she inevitably recruits are going to struggle with finances, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. So now that I've talked about the things I want to hit on, so to recap again, and I know this doesn't feel like a story time, but I'm getting to the story time part of this, I swear. So I talked about the MLMs. I talked about like a brief introduction. There's way more, and it is so multifaceted. It's so multifaceted. That's a pyramid. That's a pyramid. So then I talked about like the influencer schemes, what they will do to get followers, and then I also talked about like how it should be a crime, because it should be a crime to fake a following. And one thing I want to say about that too is that when you fake a following, or you fake anything, or if you lie to get anywhere that you are, to leverage yourself in any position that you ever are in, that is something that can be taken away from you. I've said this before about the college admissions scandal, Operation Varsity Blues or whatever. If you lie to get anywhere, so if you pay your way through college and you don't abide by the rules, or you fake a following, you buy followers, that can be taken away from you in a second. But if you actually build a following, or you actually get into school and you get your degree and you got it on, truthfully and honestly and responsibly, then nothing can be taken away from you. Even if YouTube was to die tomorrow, you still have all those people who will follow you to any other place that you go because they like you, they know you. But you don't have that if you fake a following, and that's why you should never fake one. Plus, you shouldn't do things because it's the wrong thing to do. So anyway, let me get into this story, because I know you're all like, okay, enough. But I'm sorry, but this stuff it truly bothers me. And I sit here every day, and I watch these people, and I watch how they scam people, and I watch how they take people's money, and they prey on desperate people. And my boyfriend's in the military, and I see a lot of people who especially are at risk are military wives, girlfriends, people who might not have, like, stay-at-home moms. I see who, my aunt's a stay-at-home mom, and there's certain people who are more at risk, right? These kind of MLMs destroy marriages, and they destroy relationships, and you ruin relationships with not only with your wallet, but also with your husband, your boyfriend, your friends, your family, because these are all the people that you try to recruit in there or whatever, and it's not worth it. I just want to warn people that it's not worth it. So let's talk about the story. So there's a girl who used to work with me when I worked at the tanning salon, which I did a story time about why I quit the tanning salon. And one of those stories was it was very hard to tell if it was lotion on the wall or something else, but some guy went in there with a bunch of mini liquor bottles. He showed up in a taxi, and he left, and there was a mysterious white sticky substance on the wall. That was my first day working there, and then I pretty much quit a month later. A month too late. But anyway, I worked with this girl. She was a super nice girl, and she really was, she was one of the only people that was nice to me, right? And this is why I say I don't think these people are evil, but she was a super nice girl, and we followed each other because we both worked there. We followed each other on Instagram. She'd always been super nice. She would watch my videos, and she was one of those people that like never really she didn't like try make fun of me or anything, because back when I had my YouTube channel, when I worked at the tanning salon, like I didn't have that many followers, so not that it matters, but she never was rude or whatever, and nice girl, great girl. Okay, I think she has a good family too. Like, I think I know her parents or whatever. And okay, so I see her change over time. She'd been dating this guy forever, and I'm also friends with her boyfriend on Facebook, but I I see her posts start to change over time, and she's moving towards like kind of starting like a travel blog or whatever, right? And that's fine. Like, I think it's great when people want to start something that they love and they're passionate about. If you're passionate about traveling, then that's great. And they did good work too. Like, they made YouTube videos and they would make travel diaries and stuff like that, and they were good. They are good. But I noticed that she started to sell, like, moved into their own apartment, and she started to sell Monat. And Monat is the hair care brand. And at first I didn't know it was an MLM. But after I started to like look into it, I'm like, this seems a little bit weird, because she's posting about it nonstop. And most of the time, you don't post about stuff nonstop, like products, and it's just weird. I mean, I kind of knew it was, but anyway. So she's posting about it nonstop, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I mean, she can post about it. I didn't know yet what all the things that came with Monat. So I'm like, okay, she can post about it, whatever. Like, I don't care, you know, I don't care. As long as she doesn't come and try to sell me on it. Because once somebody kind of approaches me, I know that they're kind of just looking at me, and I'm like dollars and cents to them, and no longer like a friend or a peer to them. Like, I'm just I'm a pitch. I become like a business opportunity to them. So she eventually did message me. She goes, hey girl, you know, love your whatever. Are you interested, blah, blah. And I have to, it's like, you put me in an uncomfortable position, which I hate when people do. When they put me in a position I don't want to be in, because that's what she did. So she put me in an uncomfortable position. I had to say, like, no, I have my other stuff. Like, no, thank you. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'm never going to let these people know. I don't want this stuff, because here's why I don't want this stuff, right? As of 2018, this is just what I've been reading. There's so much, and like every day it's changing. But basically, in 2018 at least, there was 11 class action lawsuits against this hair care brand Monat for hair loss. And not just a little bit of hair loss, major hair loss. I'll put up pictures up of a horrible one I just saw the other day. Hair loss, scalp scabs, and just like unbelievable itching and burning and red sores on people's scalps. That's what this hair is doing. And basically, a class action lawsuit means it's a group of people who have similar circumstances who are now suing the company. So they have 11 of those, but there are Facebook groups with over 800 people with similar problems, or people that they know who have had this and they're reaching out for help. And this is just on Facebook, right? Think about all the people that don't know about Facebook or whatever, and they all go onto this, and they're like, or they're wondering, why am I balding? Like, why am I, you know, what's going on? In addition to that, they've also had a ton of, like, I think the FDA found that they were working in extremely unsanitary conditions. So these Rejuva beads that they use to do something were covered in residue that they could not get off. Like, they could not get it off. So in this product, there's like this stuff that I think it's like split ends ingredients. I've been reading about the ingredients. I think red clover is the one that's really dangerous that's in there. But there are other ingredients, and there's like this, they always talk about, oh, that it'll repair your split ends and like almost glue them back together. And I suspect that that's what was covering these beads and wouldn't get off the beads. And like, so they were basically just making products that were just sifting through this nasty, grimy setup. And they were going through this disgusting procedure in this disgusting condition. And that's what the FDA found. So that is like documented, and that's all in there. So, plus it's an MLM, which I think, like, I honestly think they haven't, they're very shady. Like, it's just funny because it mirrors the way that people sell this. It all mirrors, and the way the company functions, they all mirror each other. So they're very shady about telling you about the income disclosure statements, which are very hard to find. If you call them, they won't tell you. A lot of the people on the phone don't know what an income disclosure statement is. But if you do look it up, it's like, I honestly think it's like 1% of people make money. And I think like 50% of people make $500 a year. maybe. Most people never make their money back, and this is just in general for all MLMs. Some are very worse than others, but yeah, you never make your money back, and you get a pretty shitty product. And by the way, the shampoo and conditioner is it's like $100 together to buy it. So it's not cheap. None of this stuff is cheap, and they'll try to entice you by saying, oh, sign up to be a market partner, which is the people that sell it, so you can get a discount. What? Okay. So anyway, there's all these problems, right? There's people losing their hair, and that's something that I would advise people to look into, you know, on your own. But also, if you're a partner, how can you not tell people, like, here's the side effects? And here's another thing too, a lot of people will go bald from this, or start balding, or get the scalp sores, and then they'll reach out to their Monat market partner, and they'll be like, hey, I'm having this problem, which, by the way, it's very well known. And if a market partner doesn't know about this, they're lying. It's very well known, and they'll say, oh, you know, I don't know what that is, but it's not the hair care. It's the hair care. So 9 times out of 10. So she reaches out to me, I say no, right? And I continue to kind of watch her stuff, and because it was always popping up, because those people that nonstop post on Instagram, and it was always popping up. It was always like, I'm clicking on it, but it's like, whatever. Then she starts posting. You'll see a lot of these with people who are in MLMs. So they're like, I love my job. I get to work. They come up with these stupid things like, oh, I dreamed of the day I could just go for a walk outside and not have to work. It's like, okay. A lot of people can do that, but they'll say stupid things like, oh, I get to work from home, blah, 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 and here's all the things that I get to do, and you probably don't get to do, so here's why you should join. So she's posting a lot of things like, I'm living my dream life. I'm living my dream life. I'm living my dream life. They also do this thing too, where they'll try to entice you and say, oh, this is the other one. Sorry, I'm hold on a little bit. So they also do this thing too, where they're like, hey, you're gonna get a white Cadillac if you sell a certain amount, like for free. You get a free Cadillac. So I looked into this. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that you get a free Cadillac, white Cadillac. And here's the catch, okay? You have to you have to sell a certain amount, and you have to keep that. If you ever drop below, you no longer get the stipend that you would get towards the car payment. But you take the car payment out in your name. So if you all of a sudden stop hitting sales or whatever, it's up to you to pay for it. The lease is in your name. It's your liability. It's your problem. So if you ever stop making those sales, you're gonna have to start paying for that. And it's like a $500 a month car payment that you would be paying. So basically, it's a huge problem that you could get yourself into financially if you don't make the sales, or and you have this huge car payment in your name that you'll inevitably, if you're not making sales, you're never going to be able to pay it, because like I said, nobody's making money in this business pretty much, except for the people at the top of the pyramid. Okay, so also another thing that they will do to try to get you to join is they'll say, oh, you can work at your own pace, you can do whatever you want, but you basically have to work. I've seen people post like that they're working while they're in labor, like they're at the hospital in stirrups, and they're literally saying, I love to be able to work from wherever I am. No job. By the way, these people don't have insurance, nothing like that. There's no insurance, there's no health insurance, there's no nothing. I've seen people, like, if you have to work when you're in stirrups in labor, no, normal jobs don't do that. Jobs with guaranteed money where you don't have to pay to work for somebody. Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen, right? So like I said, circling all the way back, I'm friends with her boyfriend on Facebook, and I see that, I'm thinking, okay, she's making some money. She must be, because they're going on these trips, and she's saying that she is. She's saying she's making money. She's saying, come live this life with me, right? There's no way someone would lie about that, right? Wrong. But anyway, I'm friends with her boyfriend on Facebook, and he posted that he was selling his car. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. Even though they just decided to, like, they announced maybe a month before that they were going to become van people, and like, redo the inside of a van and like go travel around and blah, 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 right? So I see that, I think it's weird. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird that he's selling that, right? I wonder why they would announce that like a month before and then sell it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I see like a month later, after that, he's selling like his actual car. And I'm like, okay, pretty weird. You know, just something that's like not adding up. I don't know why you'd be selling like all this stuff. Like, it seems like he's really selling stuff, but you know, guys are guys and they like to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So I get it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm saying that I'm not trying to insinuate anything by that. I'm just saying that it was like, So anyway, she's posting nonstop. They're going on trips. They're going to Florida. They're going to blah, 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 like all the time. She's posting, come live your dream life, work from anywhere. Every picture is like her with a phone. And I'm like, okay, wow, you know, wow, okay. And this time she had reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to blah, blah, blah? I'm like, no. And then I start to notice that her following is going up. And she's getting a lot of followers. So I start looking into it, and sure enough, it's going up. You know, she's doing the follow unfollow thing, and it's very clear because the graphs look like a roller coaster. So I see that, I'm like, okay, don't like that. I don't like that. So she then gets a sponsorship. And it was actually at like our local mall, which is a pretty big mall. It was at Woodfield. If you live around here in Illinois, then it's a huge mall. I mean, Jaclyn Hill used to work there. I always say that every time I go there. She used to work at the Mac at Woodfield Mall. So she gets like a sponsorship there, like an in-person. She's there posting, like live posting or whatever. I'm like, whoa, okay. She doesn't have that many followers, but she's over 10K. So I'm like, okay, that's not good, because I just saw the other day that she's faking a following, and she just took pretty good opportunity, which she was posting hashtag ad for. So you know that she got paid for it. I think you only have to post hashtag ad if you received money for it. Some of them are just partnerships. So like if you got like free clothes in exchange for something, it's just, you can just do a hashtag like express partner or something or whatever. There's differences between partnership and advertisement and sponsorship. So, and I should know that. And I'm just not sure what the legal, like what's it called? The FCC or whatever requires, right? So, and I should know that, but I don't. But I do know that if you do hashtag ad, it means you got paid, like, I'm pretty sure, money. So she's doing ad, she's doing other ads too. She's posting like for, workout supplements or whatever. It's like, okay, don't do those, by the way. If you're an influencer or if you're wanting to get into social media, just say no to the tummy teas, say no to the to teeth whitening stuff. I did a teeth whitening once. That was like my first one, and it was like, if I look back, I'm like, it was actually pretty good, but just say no to those things, because it hurts your credibility down the road. And that's a helpful tip of advice. Okay, so anyway, I'm seeing this and it's hashtag ad, hashtag ad, hashtag ad. And it's not that I don't want people to get money, but I want people to get money with integrity. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit suspicious, and there's other things happening which I just don't want to, that make me think, okay, I think that they might be struggling. Like I said, I see these Facebook things, and I'm thinking that she's not making as much as she's saying she is, or she's letting on. She's posting pictures on the beach. She's posting pictures like, oh, I'm here at this, doing this ad. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And I'm thinking there's no way she's making that much money. Because I remember how much I used to be making back in those days. It wasn't not a lot. Okay. So then it was probably a few weeks ago, my brother comes to me. My brother's 20 years old, and he goes to community college near our house. 20 years old, and he works at an after-school daycare for minimum wage, I think. Or maybe it's like $9 an hour or something. So, or maybe not. But he's a community college student trying to figure his life out. And it's an after-school daycare program. I mean, it's a lot of people's very first job, is what I'm trying to say. And he would be fine with me saying that, because he is like, doesn't care. He's like me, he just doesn't care about what other people think, and he just, you know, sticks to whatever, and he's super aware and super socially aware, whatever. So he comes to me, he's like, hey, you know that girl that used to work with you at the tanning salon? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, she's in a pyramid scheme now. He goes, well, she just started working with me at the after-school daycare. She just got a job there. And I'm like, huh, really? Here's the thing. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that working for minimum wage is a bad thing, because I think, and I've said this before to people in my personal life, even working at McDonald's flipping burgers is an opportunity. Any job you have is an opportunity to make money, to get yourself to a better position in life, and to grow and to pursue your dreams in some way, right? And to fund those dreams, whatever. I never look down on people who work minimum wage jobs. I used to work like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. But I do have a problem, however, with lying to people, saying, I'm living my dream life. So I went to go, let me circle back. I went to go look at her Instagram page right after he told me that, and would you know, her last post, I mean, she's posting these things with long captions, whatever. Her last post was, hey, come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about how you can live your dream life like me. I love to work from home. I'm making money doing what I love, blah, 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 blah. Actually, let me even say what it is. I'm just gonna summarize, because I don't want like anyone to, I really don't want anyone to go and look. I'm not saying her name, and I'm trying to be pretty vague because I don't want anyone to go and, like, you know, say anything. Not that anyone would, because my people that follow me don't do that. They just don't do that. Plain and simple. They're smarter than that. So she's basically saying, why aren't you living your dream life? What's holding you back? Well, listen, I found the best job in the world where I make money, and now I have financial freedom. A lot of these MLM people will say, I have financial freedom, I have financial freedom, I have financial freedom. You don't. You don't. And she's basically saying in her post, throw caution to the wind. Quit your whatever. Quit your job that guarantees you money. This is what irritates me. You cannot lie to people about your situation. I hate that social media is this way nowadays, because 9 times out of 10 people are living a life that is not true. Things seem better than they are in reality on social media all the time. And I'm seeing this so much, and I know that when people see, oh, she's on a beach every other week, when they see that, I know people are going to be enticed to want to join an MLM, and then they would lose money, and they would, I mean, people go bankrupt over this stuff like all the time, and it just ruins their lives. It ruins their lives. Ruins their lives. So I have a problem with people who lie, and they pretend, and they fake their reality to try to get other people into the mess that they're in. I have a huge problem with that. And that was like the final thing that I needed to hear before I was like, you know what? These people gotta stop. They have to stop. They need to be real with themselves, okay? Real with themselves. If you're not making money and you gotta get a second job, that's fine. But do not bring other people into the mess that you're in, and do not pretend like you're living your dream life. I'm trying to figure out a way to wrap this video up, because I know I've been talking for a while, and I know that probably didn't feel like a story time that much, but it's just like I had to say this, because I cannot sit around. Like I said in the beginning, I cannot be a spectator to unfairness. I cannot be a spectator. I can't. Especially when people's livelihoods are on the line and people are lying, and I'm seeing it every day on social media, faking followings, faking all this stuff, faking your lifestyle, faking it. Be real. Be real. I hate those couples too. They're like, oh, we never fight with each other. It's like, we fight all the time, because that's what you do in a relationship. You fight. And to portray otherwise is making other people question, am I good enough? Is my relationship right? Is this right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I blah, 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 blah. End of the day, these people are not bad people. They're not. This girl is this girl is a super nice girl. Maybe she doesn't even realize what she's doing, but at what point do these people stop? I mean, who's gonna say to these people, you can't do this. You cannot take brands' money and not be real. You cannot bot views. You cannot bot followers. You cannot bot comments. You cannot bot this stuff. You cannot do this. You must be real to survive in this world. You must. You must be real, and you must be authentic, and you must do things the right way. Or what is it all worth? I mean, what's your life worth if you don't? So anyway, I mean, that's it. That's all I have to say for today. Like I said, I plan on diving deeper into MLMs because, you know, it's something that is picking up speed, I've noticed, and with the social media world and how people want to become a social media influencer, they want to be this certain type of thing. It's not all that's cracked up to be, let me tell you. A lot of days I wish I chose something else, because it is mental gymnastics every single day, even for people like me who could give a fuck about what other people think. And, you know, like I am very strong in my own resolve, and I say things with conviction. I mean things. I mean what I say. I'm authentic. You know, I'm all those things, and it's still like there's still hurdles you have to jump through mentally, you know, whatever. You have to be real in this world. You have to be. So anyway, that's a long one. I'm really sorry about that. But I mean, you can leave a comment down below. There's people, you know, let me know what you think. And I think one thing that we can all agree on is that we should all be real. I think that's what we can all agree on. And if we can find common ground in that, then what should follow is we should encourage people to be themselves and to be more authentic and not cut corners. And that's just the nitty-gritty. Okay. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video. Please let me know, by the way, what other videos you want to see, because I'm not really sure what you guys want to see anymore. So yeah. Bye.